if you're not feeling pain, then you're not really healing. What am I talking about here? So a few weeks ago, I was reading Lori Gottlieb's book, Maybe You Should Talk to Someone. It's a great book. I highly recommend it. And something she said just struck me. I was like, this is the greatest thing. I have to share it with you guys. So let me read a short paragraph from this book. She said, as a therapist, I know a lot about pain, about the ways in which pain is tied to loss. But I also know something less commonly understood, that change and loss travel together. We can't have change without loss, which is why so often people say that they want change, but nonetheless stay exactly the same. Brilliant. It's so brilliant because it's true. Real change and real healing, including breaking the cycle of toxic relationships, going from toxic relationships to real love, will always involve loss. We will let go of our old way of being, of our old way of doing, which is why it's such a hard thing to do. The fear of feeling the pain of that loss can keep us from moving out of bad relationships. I've been there. Years ago, if you had asked me what was keeping me in this relationship that I was in, that wasn't making me happy, that was very painful, I would have told you something like, well, I love them. We have such fun together. The good times are really good. I would have said, we have a bunch of stuff in common. But if I was really honest with myself, what was actually going on was I was scared. I didn't want to feel the pain of letting go of this person. I didn't want to go through the process of grieving, of really letting go of this relationship because I knew how hard it would have been. Because here's the thing, if change were that easy, we all would have done it a long time ago. If breaking the cycle of toxic relationships and healing from them were just as simple as deciding to do it, I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't need this channel. But the reason it's so hard is because, just like Lori Gottlieb said, it always involves feeling pain. It always involves feeling the loss of something or someone. Breaking long-standing patterns, like getting out of toxic relationships, it's really hard work. And it's not because the steps are hard. The steps are relatively simple. Break up with the person, talk to people, start to heal, you move on. That stuff's pretty easy. What's hard is the emotional stuff that comes with it. The pain and grieving the loss of a relationship, of a person, and also the dreams that were tied up with that relationship. The dreams you had for the person, for your relationship, whether it was just a dating relationship or a marriage, all of it. There's a lot of loss to work through. So I keep it real here on this channel. The pain that is involved in letting go of a toxic relationship and breaking these cycles, it's brutal. I'm totally honest, straight up, it's one of the hardest things you can do. The reason that I'm making this video is because I want to normalize this experience of grieving, of feeling the pain of breaking these patterns, and to let you know that if you're going through this, if you're feeling an incredible amount of pain, you're doing it right. You're really healing. You're really breaking a cycle, and you're truly on the path to letting go of an old relationship. It's a sign that you're really changing and healing. Not just talking about it, not just telling people that you're going to do it, but actually doing it. It means you're doing something right. This is actually what it looks like to do the work. The work. There's a lot of talk out there about doing the work. What is the work? What does it look like? This is it. This is doing the work. It's deciding that this bad relationship that you're in, it's not cutting it anymore. And then taking the step to leave. You're doing it. You're breaking that cycle, and you're feeling and experiencing what it feels like to lose that relationship, the loss of something. This is the real work. And it's gonna hurt. You'll probably cry a lot. You'll be scared at times. You'll feel good at times, but there will also be a lot of times where you feel really bad. And this is the part where I do recommend getting a mentor. If you need someone to walk through it with you, which I think everybody should do this, I am available for that. You can click on the link in the description and see the different options that I have available to work with me. And I will tell you guys, as brutal as that pain is, letting go of a toxic relationship, it was so worth it. Because when we really let go of a bad relationship, we then have the opportunity to experience real love. If we don't do that, if we don't leave a bad situation, the pain that we're in of a toxic or abusive relationship, that just keeps going. There's no end in sight. But the pain that we feel when we leave, there is hope within that pain. That pain is in service of getting us to a much better situation, to a better relationship, to a better life. So it is absolutely worth it. I'm now in a healthy relationship, and I can tell you that the pain that I went through, it was brutal. And there were times where I didn't think I'd ever be able to say what I just told you, that it was 100% worth it. It was that bad. But as bad as that pain was, it still was worth it. I'm so much happier now. My life is so much better than it was when I was in those bad relationships. Often I just wake up and I feel so much gratitude, and I don't even have to do like one of those I can't even say it, one of those gratitude practices. The gratitude is just there. It's just naturally there because things are so much better. But this place where I wake up most days and I feel gratitude, this didn't come from just snapping my fingers and going from one toxic relationship to a healthy relationship. I wish it was that easy, but that's not the reality. I got here because I allowed myself to go through that grief, that intense pain, and also fear that goes with the loss of a very important relationship in your life. I felt the grief that allowed me to change my life for real. The pain of real change is hard. It really is. But you are strong and you will make it through. I can promise you that. One day, you will be just like me and wake up with a smile on your face because you were courageous enough to face those difficult emotions and truly change your life. So you might now be wondering, how do you actually do this? How do you allow yourself to dive into real change and break the cycle of toxic relationships? The first step, it's actually really simple, but it's one of the hardest parts to do. The first step is you break up with the person who's hurting you. And most importantly, you stop talking to them. You stop taking those calls from that unavailable guy. You stop reaching out to the person who doesn't return your texts. You stop talking to that guy. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. You stop chasing situationships that aren't really what you want. You stop doing the thing that hurts you. And then you sit in what I call the void. The void where you're not chasing that unavailable guy, you're not taking that guy's calls, you're not talking to your ex, you're just sitting there with yourself, with all the feelings that are coming up, which are probably pain, sadness, anxiety, and grief. You're not trying to date again right away. You're not trying to replace your ex with a new person, like just putting a Band-Aid on that. You're not doing anything. You're just sitting and being with yourself. And this sitting there, being with yourself, this is the most self-loving thing that you can do. When we're talking about real self-love, this is it. It's not some complicated strategy. It's not hard to figure out. It is this. It is quite literally sitting with yourself with all your feelings. The good, the bad, the ugly, the scary. Being present with yourself is the ultimate act of self-love. And it's exactly what meditation is. If you've ever tried to figure out, like, how do I meditate? What is it? True meditation is just sitting there, letting your feelings flow. That's it. It's not some spiritual secret or some spiritual mystery. That's all it is. You're just sitting and being with yourself. Let me know if you guys want me to talk more about how to meditate for self-love and healing. I have a lot to say about it, so if you want me to make some videos, just let me know in the comments here. But that's all you do. The steps are simple, but the process is hard. So take those steps, end the relationship, cut off the things that are hurting you, and allow yourself to move through that grief. It will not last forever. If you can allow these feelings to come up and move through you, I promise you, you will make it through to the other side, to the place where you can find that relationship that doesn't make you feel bad, that makes you wake up every day with a smile on your face. You will come out of the other side feeling wiser, stronger, and so much more ready for healthy love. Now, if you want to fast forward that grieving process, if you feel like you're getting kind of stuck in it, that's something I can help with. This is my specialty. Again, click on the link in the description to see how you can work with me. Nobody should have to go through this grieving process alone, and I am here to help with that. I have another video here that you guys might find helpful. It's how to deal with grief after the loss of a toxic relationship. Click here to subscribe. I come out with new videos every single week for breaking the cycle of toxic relationships and finding real love.